Welcome to spooky season. This is my first year on YouTube during Halloween and I am so excited. So let's go ahead and jump straight into the tutorial. So for today's video, I will be making press-ons, and these are so I can wear them multiple times and I can save them. Any design that I do as a press-on look, you can wear it however you want. You can put it on your natural nails, you can put it on top of Gel X. It's really just up to you. If you want to do these on Gel X nails, I have a tutorial on how to apply Gel X here, and I have linked it for you down below in case you need to start there. I'm starting off by applying a base color, and the one I'm using today is from the brand Beetles, and this is called Mocha Mousse Cake. I think that this is one of the most affordable base colors that you can find that actually looks good on any skin tone. It's about $6 or $7 and you can find it on Amazon. I of course have all the products that I use in today's video linked down below. So I'm gonna go ahead and just apply a thin layer of this to each of the nails. So I'm all done applying the first layer, and now I'm gonna cure this in my lamp for 60 seconds. Here is what one layer of this polish looks like. It's beautiful, but I feel like you just need better coverage, so I almost always apply 2 coats of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. So here is what the polish looks like with the second layer applied. And as you can see, it just looks so much better. The first layer just kind of looked thin, not the best color and coverage, but the second layer just sets it off and it looks perfect. So if you're gonna try this polish, I always recommend at least using 2 coats. It is not a 1 coat coverage kind of polish, but that's okay because with 2 coats, it's perfect. I have a few new polishes from the Madam Glam House of Mystery collection that just launched, and I wanted to use these in today's video because they are perfect for Halloween. The first shade I have here is Nova, and I really like this one because typically with Halloween colors, I think of dark, fall-like colors, but with this one being so light, I think this was nice to include in this collection. It's a very pale sage green, and it reminds me of a glow-in-the-dark ghost, but this polish doesn't glow in the dark, but for some reason, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Next, I have Fairy Dust, which is a milky white tortoiseshell polish, and it has flecks of black, orange, cream, and gold glitter within this polish. So you can see that here on the swatch stick, but I'm actually gonna zoom in so you can get a better view of what this polish looks like. I love how you have a mixture of the black and the orange and a little bit of gold glitter, and it's perfect for Halloween. The third color I have here is Shadows, and this is a deep, dark purple. It just gives you Halloween, fall. You can even wear this in the winter. I think that this is one of my favorite shades today. I love this. It's perfect. So the last color I have is called Witching Hour. As you can see, it's not a super bright red. It's a little bit more muted. So here are all of the polishes next to each other. Here you have Witching Hour, Nova, Fairy Dust, and then Shadows. And I think I actually want to go in with Shadows for sure because it's a perfect purple, and I think I'm also going to choose Witching Hour. It's that red here. I think these are going to be the perfect 2 colors for today's look, so let's go ahead and move on to the next step. So I really want to recreate this look that I saw on Pinterest. I thought it was so cool, so that's what I'm going to be doing. To create that aura effect that you see on the bottom half of the nail, I am going to be using a cosmetic wedge and that red polish. So to get that aura effect, I am drawing a circle in the center of the sponge with the gel polish, and then I'm going to tap that sponge onto the nail. Since there's so much polish here on the sponge, I don't want one nail to be more pigmented than the other, so I'm gonna go across and tap all of the nails so I can get some of that polish off, but it's evenly distributed. So you can see here, it's starting to create that circle in the center of the nail, and that's essentially what we want starting off. And don't worry, I'm not gonna leave it like this, but as you can see, when I get towards the end, the polish looks a lot lighter, and that's because the polish is obviously being distributed off of the sponge. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start blending this color out. When doing this, try to keep that circular shape because if you use the end of the sponge like right here, it's going to look more like a square and less like the center of an aura. You want to make sure when you're doing this not to go all the way up to the top of the nail because then it won't look dispersed. It'll just look like red is covering the entire nail, and that kind of takes away from the effect that we're going for. So this part right here is just going to be pure personal preference, and you can decide if you want to add more color or take color away. If you want to blend it out a little bit more, take a little bit of the color away, you want to make sure that you're using the white parts of the sponge that does not have polish to do that. Now, if you want to make the color more pigmented, you would just take the center of the sponge where that polish was and tap using that part. Now, I'm satisfied with the way this is looking right now because I am going to actually draw on top of this nail and then I'll go from there. So now I am going to place this into my lamp to cure for 60 seconds. So here are what the nails are looking like right now. And honestly, if you wanted to, you could stop right here, add a top coat and let this be a look in itself. But for me, I don't want to stop. I want to add on to this. So that is what we're going to continue to do. So I'm going to be taking shadows and I'm actually going to be placing this directly onto my palette because I'm going to be using this shade to draw some purple lines. I'm going to grab my thin liner brush from the brand Wistonia and then dip that into the purple polish. I like to get the bristles of the brush nice and coated so that I can get cleaner lines, and I like to get a little ball of polish on the tip of the brush. Okay, so for a little sneaky peeky, here are my reference nails. So I'm going to be drawing lines just like that onto each of these nails. So I'm just going to draw random lines on this nail. You can see here that I have that little ball of purple polish, and that is what's going to do a lot of the work. I'm just going to drag my brush in whatever feels right. When doing this step, you don't have to have this perfect bunch of lines because they are meant to be swiggly, not super straight, and not perfect, and each nail is going to be unique. Honestly, at the end, I realized they kind of look like tree branches a little bit, but yeah, you draw whatever you want as far as lines go. I'm trying to make sure that the lines have different starting and end points, but they come together and connect in the center. Now for me, I am not flash curing at this stage because I'm not sure at this point if I want these lines to be thick or thin. So I'm going to make them a little bit thicker than I think I may want them so that I can clean it up in the end. But if you are sure if you want your lines thick or thin and you're good with your design the way it is, go ahead and flash cure it to just keep it from getting messed up. To make this design a little bit easier, you can start by putting a dot of gel polish in the center of the nail and then drawing lines coming from that point. That way, all of the lines still connect in the center and you can do what you want to do. This is what we have at this stage, and I knew that I was going to do this, which is why I didn't flash cure in between each finger, but I actually want to thin out these lines a little bit. So to do that, I'm taking some alcohol in a flat brush and thinning out some of those lines. When I am cleaning up the lines with the alcohol, I am going to lose some of that aura effect, and that's okay because in the next step, I'm going to repeat the sponging process. Looking back, I probably would have drawn my lines first and then did the aura effect because I feel like I'm repeating the same process when there was probably a more efficient way to do it. Here are what the lines are looking like thinned out, and I do prefer this look, so I'm gonna go ahead and fully cure this in my lamp for 60 seconds. As you can see here, I did lose a lot of that red type aura effect, so I'm gonna go ahead and repeat that process again. All I'm doing is taking a bit of gel polish and placing it directly into the center, making a little circle again. I'm going to thin out some of this polish by tapping the sponge on my glass palette first and then going back in and tapping on top of the nail. Because I fully cured the layer with the purple lines, I don't have to worry about it coming off or anything like that when I do this process. So I'm just going to continue on until I get my desired look. All right, so now it looks kind of like it did before and I'm satisfied with it. So I'm going to cure this again for 60 seconds. Here is what we have so far. I am actually going to be adding silver pearls on top. So to seal this whole entire design in, I'm gonna go in with a glossy top coat and apply that to each of the nails. So now I am taking these silver pearls and I'm going to lay out the sizes I want onto my desk because as you can see, this container has a ton of different sizes in here. I think it's about 5,000 pieces. So I'm just gonna grab what I need. To attach these pearls onto the nails, I'm gonna be using my McCart rhinestone glue. I use this every single time I am using rhinestones, pearls, whatever, because it truly is some of the best that I've used so far, and I highly, highly recommend this. So I'm going to be applying this to random spots in the nails. There is no set design that I'm doing, just randomly deciding what looks best. When I am applying this, I like to put a little dot of glue onto the nail and then move the bottle in a circular motion so that the glue falls in the shape of the pearl that I'm going to be using. So I just remembered that the last time I used pearls, I put some of them in places that were really uncomfortable on my nail and I had to take them off. So I don't want to make that same mistake again. So I'm going to remove my gloves and see where I don't want my pearls. So as you can see here, some of my fingers like to curve into each other. I don't know, but that's what they do. So I want to make sure that I'm not putting the pearls in those particular areas. So now I have a visual of where I'm not going to put the pearls. I'm just going to go ahead and finish the process. So I really love to lay down pearls and rhinestones in what I like to call little clusters where there's at least 2 in a position, but max 3, because I think it's just a cool look. It's just what I really like now, for now anyway. You know, I like to change my mind every 5 business days, but right now this is what I'm liking. So that's what I'm going to do. But I want to make sure that the clusters aren't all over the nail because it'll look too much. So in some areas, I'm going to do like a little cluster, and then other areas, I'm just going to put 1 pearl. I like to use a wax stick to apply my pearls. I just find that it works a lot quicker and it's a lot easier for me, but you can use tweezers, your fingers, whatever you really want and whatever makes you feel the most comfortable. Now that everything is all applied and I like the way they look, so I'm gonna go ahead and cure this in my lamp. So the McCart rhinestone glue that I used actually is gel, so it needs to be cured for about 60 seconds. It does not dry on its own. So for the final step, I'm gonna go ahead and apply a glossy top coat again. Because this is my first time working with these silver pearls. I've only ever used the gold pearls that came in this set in previous videos. And I will say that the gold pearls, the color chips off very quickly and easily. So I don't want to take the risk because I really love these nails and I really want to keep them. So I'm going to go ahead and seal those pearls in with a top coat again so that I can preserve the color just in case. All right, so here are what the nails look like now. So let me know what you think. I'm going to pop these on so you can see what they look like in real life. And Here they are. So if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, of course, you can always leave me a comment down below and I will do my best to respond. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you are so you don't miss a future video. And for the next video you should check out, I think it should be this one here. So I will see you in the next video.